So I want to talk to you about some of the necessities you need for your book. It's very important that you know just the basics of what entails. What are the things that you're going to include for your book? So after you've done the writing, the most important thing is writing the book. First, writing the manuscript. A lot of people ask me, I want to know, how do you write a book? And the first thing is you have to write the content. You have to give something, on the page, or you're on your computer on the screen. You have to have at least 35 or more pages of content, even if it's spaced out, or even if it's like, as long as it's 35 pages or more, or maybe even 25 pages, depends on the size of the book, if it's a small little booklet or if it's a bigger book, but at least 35 pages or more of actual content, something you're saying, an actual message. And that's the beginning of starting a book. And then that part in itself is its own, journey, because you have to sit down and take everything you want to say and you have to write it down. So that's the first step. I feel so weird with this line. I'm just gonna, okay, there we go. All right, I feel less, encumbered. But anyway, so like I was saying, you need 35 pages or longer. And then you don't have to do it now, but you can decide on your title. Your title is important because it's the catchy phrase that encapsulates what your book's about. And if your title doesn't say what the book is about, you can always put it in the subtitle, such as my book is called Reflections on the Eternal Lover. It's a book of poetry. It's a collection of poetry. And in the subheading, it's called Reflections, a young woman's reflection on God in life. So it's a book about a young woman's reflections about life and God in her life, in general, and God's presence and God's hand and work in life, and just being tangible, God's tangibleness in life and his presence in life. So that's what my book is about, The Reflections on the Eternal Lover, which you can find on Amazon.com. But other than that, after you have a nice catchy title, I didn't get my title until midway through writing the book, putting it together. I was like, what should I call this? And that's what I came up with. And then after that, you want to have a book blurb, which is a description of your book that's really interesting, really clear about what's your book about. It's something that hooks the reader to want to read more about your book. And then you want to have some basic things like editing, getting it edited, getting a proofreader, people to read your book. There's also something called a beta reader. You need a beta reader, someone to read your book and say what they got from it, how did it flow, what did they like about it, and just give you some feedback, honest feedback before you actually publish it and make it public to everyone. The beta reader is just a small group of people that read it first as your test group. They're your test group. So then you're also going to have your author bio. You want to write about yourself, say a little bit about your quirks, your little, things about you that make you unique, that make you the one to write this book. And then you want to be clear on your genre, where your book fits in the book market, because on Amazon, you're gonna have to say what category your book is, whether it's poetry, whether it's a cookbook, whether it's a memoir, whether it's personal growth, self-help, how-to, something like that. Fiction or nonfiction. Those are the basic genres, right? And then it breaks down to smaller groups such as science fiction and all kinds of stuff, right? And then you want to copyright your work so no one steals it. And then you want to, you're going to get an ISBN number, which you won't need to buy, but you can buy an ISBN number, which I found out you can buy it, but you don't have to if you use Amazon Kindle Direct Publishing. They give you an ISBN number. Some companies, when you hire a publishing agency to work with you to publish your book, they will give you an ISBN number. You don't have to buy it, but you can buy it. It's an option, but you don't have to when you work with the company. But people that buy ISBN numbers are probably their own publishing company, so they buy a whole bunch of the numbers and then they assign it to the books. But when you work with a company, they will give you an ISBN number. Okay, and then so you have your headshot. You're gonna need a headshot. You're gonna need a nice, cute picture, something that looks like, very authorish, your author photo, you want it to look nice. So you get a nice photographer get a nice photo shoot for your shot, or you could just use your phone. The iPhones have really nice pictures now, and then you can just edit it on Adobe and make it look really fresh and really cute. Really, really nice and professional. And then, so copyright, yeah. And then the other thing is time. Give yourself time to do this book. Don't rush it. Give yourself time to edit. Give yourself time to proofread it. Give yourself time to get reviews, because reviews are the thing that will make your book stand out. Because the more people say something nice about your book, the more that people will want to read your book. Me, I have to go back and actually ask people to give me reviews on the book. I have a couple in my email, so it's a work in progress in that regard. But I've had many people buy my book in the past, and so I'm encouraging you, start now asking people for reviews, asking them to write it on Amazon.com if they bought your book, because it's important to boost your credibility as a book writer and what you wrote about and how good it is. And then I think that is about it. Those are the basic things that you should have when you write your book. So if you need anything else, if you have any questions, just DM me, direct message me, or you can call me. I believe my number is on the Facebook group page, and Koi Heart Book Writers Club. So if you have any questions, you can contact me. You can also Google, but you can also contact me and I will help you. And I'd be so happy to help you as a book coach, helping you on your journey to writing your message that will impact your community and bring hope